This video was brought to you in part by Homie and the Dude and viewers like you.
Alright, you saw the thumbnail, you've read the title. Obviously, this video's a hit piece on anybody who plays D&D. Yeah, I'm gonna get ya. Alright, let me be very clear off the bat. There is nothing wrong with people who only play D&D, and this video is not me trying to shame anyone who only plays D&D. You're allowed to play what you like. You're allowed to only play one game. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. However, what I want to do is explore why so many people say they only play D&D, and maybe to encourage some of you to just reevaluate why you've taken that position and why you might be open to playing something other than D&D. So again, not a hit piece on D&D only players. I think that's fine. But I also think that you should be informed as to why you're making that decision, and if some of those reasons hold water. Also, to those of you who are like me who don't play D&D anymore, or maybe never did, this video is not an excuse for you to go in the comments and start being all crappy about D&D players. This video doesn't exist for you to start going off in the comments about how D&D is a bad game and stuff like that. In fact, I think in some ways, you're kind of part of the problem if you do that. So please don't. Let's just get into this. This is a huge hobby. There are so many games out there. So many games. It's mind-boggling. And yet, time and again, when surveys are done about, hey, what games do you play? One game consistently comes out on top, and it's not by a small amount. And while it might be kind of anecdotal, most of the people I've met who play D&D have only played D&D. Now, while there are a number of reasons we're going to cover, I think the first one that I tend to hear a lot is, well, I like D&D. I know I'm going to have a good time, so why would I play anything else? Why? Now, I will fully admit, this is the argument that I have the hardest time wrapping my head around, because I first started playing D&D back in the 90s. I've been in this hobby for over 25 years. And even back then, after I played a little bit of D&D, my immediate instinct was, wow, I wonder if there are other games like this in different genres that do things differently. I have from the beginning wanted to branch out and explore other things. I like variety. So when I hear people say, well, I like D&D, why would I play anything else? My brain breaks a little bit. However, I do wonder if people are just saying that and if they really truly mean it. Allow me to share a parable, if you will, that runs parallel to this kind of thinking. I grew up in a decent-sized town in northern Minnesota. We didn't have the broadest selection of pizza. And my family in particular, when we had pizza night, we were ordering Pizza Hut. That was pizza to me. Man, I love Pizza Hut, specifically the Meat Lovers Pan Pizza. I was all about it. If you said, ooh, do you want some pizza? I would go, yeah, let's get a Meat Lovers Pan Pizza. Boom, boom, boom. Except then, I started to learn about other pizzas. There was, frozen pizza for when we just wanted something quick. It wasn't maybe as, decadent and nice as Pizza Hut, but boy, it sure, satisfied that hunger, and it was so easy and cheaper. And then I'd find out about, some other pizza places that did things, they did things that were really similar to Pizza Hut, and I preferred Pizza Hut, so why am I gonna go over to Domino's or over to Little Caesars when we got Pizza Hut Meat Lovers Pan Pizza? But then I started learning about other pizzas. New York style pizza. Oh, wow, it's such a big slice and it's folded. Oh my, this looks so different from what I'm used to. And then, the Chicago deep dish. Oh, people argue if it's even pizza, but it's so deep and all that cheese. Oh, it looks so luscious. Chicago tavern style pizza. I've known restaurants up in Minnesota. We have pizza like that. I try. Oh, that's pretty good. And then I learned just how many types of pizza and pizza-adjacent things existed. Neapolitan pizza, Detroit-style pizza, Quad City pizza, pizza rolls, pizza pockets, pizza bagels, anytime. Use some Pillsbury biscuits, make a pizza cupcake. Cupcake muffin, you weirdo. What's this? Oh, a little thing called a calzone.
Wait a second, that's not pizza. Those are calzones!
Or what about a pizza stromboli? There are so many kinds of pizza out there beyond just the pizza that I initially loved. And I wanted to try different kinds of pizza because, man, if I loved this pizza so much, how good are these gonna be? Well, I gotta try it out. I've gotta know. And yeah, a lot of these weird little pizza-adjacent things, are they something that I've maybe tried once, enjoyed the novelty of, and will never go back to? Sure. Are there a few of them that I might have a few times a year because I really enjoy them? But, I mean, they're not going to be my go-to, but still, they're nice to have around. Heck yeah. And speaking of my go-to, you know what is no longer my go-to, and in fact, I haven't had it in years? The Pizza Hut Meat Lovers Pan Pizza. Not just because I'm a vegetarian now, but partially. But also, if I want that reasonably priced chain delivery pizza experience, I've found others that I enjoy more than Pizza Hut. And I don't even like to do those that regularly because I've found different, fancier, and weirder, artisanal pizzas that are also kind of my go-to. I've got like 5 go-to pizza places. It's great. If you've managed to piece together the metaphor here, D&D is the Meat Lover's Pan Pizza from Pizza Hut. And as much as I personally can't fathom people trying that one pizza, loving it, and then refusing to try any of the other pizzas, I get it to some degree. For a lot of people, pizza's not that important. I don't know why, but it's not. And they're like, yeah, I like pizza every once in a while, and I know the one I really like is this one. So when I have pizza, we just get the Pizza Hut Meat Lover's Pan Pizza. And you're like, why don't you try the others? And they go, I don't care. That's valid. That's totally valid. I don't blame you. And maybe you love the Pizza Hut Meat Lover's Pan Pizza. Why did I pick one that was such a mouthful? Because it's true. It's truth. I have to speak my truth. Like, maybe that is their favorite pizza, and they've tried a few others, and they're like, yeah, I don't really like them. That's the one that I really like. Cool, that's valid too. You don't have to like other pizzas. Like what you like. But for a lot of folks out there, I think they've had that pizza and go, how could it get better? In so many ways. Possibly, potentially, depending on your taste. And you personally won't know unless you experience other pizza. Now, a lot of people get that kind of reasoning. They understand it, and yet they still would like to stick with D&D. And it comes down to, I think, what the 2 big reasons are that keep people from playing games other than D&D. And they really just boil down to time and money. First off, time. Now, one, I think, relatively valid reason is that for a lot of us working adults and whatnot, we don't have a lot of spare time. You've only got your one monthly D&D session that you get to look forward to every month, and you're not super interested in breaking away from that. Oh, we've got this campaign that's ongoing. I get to do it once a month, and you want me to interrupt that with trying out some other game? No, this is so important to me. Why would I do that? I get that. Absolutely I do. The real reason I think that time comes into play for a lot of folks is they don't want to put in the time to learn another titterpig. Well, my friends, you've come to the right place. For some more complicated systems out there, and even not that complicated systems, I've made how to play videos. It's kind of the bread and butter of this channel, and I like making those videos despite how much effort has to really go into making them. However, for the systems that I've made how to play videos on, I would say all of those systems is less complicated than D&D, and yet still I felt was complicated enough or different enough that it warranted having a video made to help teach people how to play. But even as I say that, there are a number of these systems out there that are so much easier than D&D. I think what the problem is that for a lot of folks who only play D&D, and they started learning TTRPGs through playing D&D and learning D&D, they think that that is the baseline for what learning a TTRPG is like. Allow me to let you know that's not the case. In fact, I think that for a lot of you, learning D&D was almost kind of traumatic. And I know that's kind of hyperbolic language, but I also think it's kind of true. I had this amazing conversation with Alice at Faypop. I will link to what Alice said on Bluesky in the description, so if you want to go through and read it all, you can. But learning D&D for a lot of folks is not fun. Like, role-playing is fun, hanging out with your friends is fun, pulling off cool stuff is fun. Learning D&D is a lot. Now, I haven't played D&D in a while now, but I have run a lot of it in the past. A lot. I have run so much D&D. And in running so much D&D, I have run it for quite a few players who were new to it or had only played like some previous editions. And let me tell you that even with them kind of having read the book on their own and having me and other players at the table helping them to figure out what's going on, a lot of those players still struggled with the rules after 10 sessions, 15 sessions. It's a lot. There's a lot of stuff in D&D, and it's hard, and it's frustrating, and oh my god, I'm sorry, did you pick to play a wizard for your first time in D&D? Have fun! Or any number of the classes. There's a lot of stuff to figure out, and I think folks like me and a lot of you out there who have played D&D for a while kind of forget what it was like to have to learn all this crap. Most other games aren't that bad. Now, there are a lot of games that are like similar, though I would still say a bit easier than D&D. And there are games that are much harder, but most games mechanically are quite a bit easier, but might ask different confusing things from players that take some getting used to. For example, a game that I won't shut up about because it's one of my favorites, Deathmatch Island. Combat in this game is typically like 1 to 3 rolls at most. And then the roll is just whoever got the highest is the ultimate winner of it. But then the players have the narrative authority to narrate what happens, both for themselves and for their opponents. The GM just does connective tissue. And that's weird, and that's difficult to get the hang of. It's asking more improvisation from players and asking the players to take more agency over the narrative than they might otherwise be used to. For some people, that's hard to learn. So I fully admit that some games can take some getting used to, but I will also say that a lot of games that give players more narrative control and aren't nearly as granular as D&D, once you learn one, it makes learning the next one easier, and the one after that easier. It's one of those things where the more games you learn, the easier every new game is to learn. I say this as a person who has played dozens and dozens of different TTRPGs. Every one that I have learned has been easier than the last. But then, for some of them, they really are just that much easier to learn. There are games out there that take as long to learn as like a fairly easy board game. As long as the person running it knows what they're doing, or as one person knows what they're doing, the rest of the players don't have to have any idea, and you can teach them in about 10 minutes or so. Did a video on Quest. As long as you're the GM and you know how to run this, your players don't have to know a darn thing before you start playing. You can just drop them in. The basic rules of that game take about 5 minutes to explain. And yet, it's a system that's robust enough that I ran a 1.5-year campaign with it, and we had a great time. Or a GM-less game like Fiasco, which is almost like the hybrid of a TTRPG and a board game. You sit down, you kind of read over the rules together, and you all have a jolly good time. And it's not going to take you more than like 20 minutes of reading rules before you're into the game and playing. So yes, if you are only playing D&D because you don't want to learn other games, some of those first couple might take a little bit more time. But if you learn a couple of them, the rest will all start falling into place faster and faster. And if you don't want to do one of those games, there are plenty of cool, robust games out there that require very little time investment to learn how to play them. And if you're like, well, we only get together to play D&D once a month, you know what's great? A game like Fiasco? That's fun to play with people who don't even play games like D&D. You can just be together with some friends and be like, hey, we should play Fiasco. And just basically, it's a titterpig masquerading as a party game. And you're still going to be tabletop role-playing. It's just going to be some random bit of fun that you can have. But hey, I get it. If you don't play games that much and you don't dedicate a lot of time to this hobby, yeah, why would you learn a bunch of other games if you found one you really like? So I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I do think for a lot of folks out there, the stuff I said, correct. And the last one that I will touch on that always gets brought up when I mention, why don't you play games other than D&D? People always seem to have the response of, I don't have enough money for that. This is the one issue I can say that I've got great news for you. 99% of all other titterpigs are less of a financial investment than D&D. And probably 98% of them are a significantly smaller investment than D&D. Dungeons & Dragons is owned by Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro. They're a big corporation who want you to keep continually buying stuff. D&D is one of the most expensive titterpigs out there, by a large margin. For the price of the core box set of D&D, the 3 books they say that you need to have to play D&D, I could give you, bare minimum, 5 games that would allow for campaigns just as, if not more robust than anything D&D could do. And that's lowballing it. I could probably find you 10 without much problem. Even a lot of decent sized bigger titterpigs out there cost maybe $30 for the full game in one book. You don't need 3. Technically for D&D you don't need all 3, but this is saying nothing about the overwhelming amount of titterpigs out there that cost nothing or next to nothing. Pay what you want, whatever. You go to itch.io or any number of places, even on DriveThruRPG, and you can find a ton of titterpigs that range between $0 and $5 that you can have an amazing time with. And I'm not talking about a few dozen, I'm talking hundreds, if not thousands. Oh, it's so many games, how do I look through them all? Find a genre or an idea that you want, and you'll find a smaller selection of games that fit within that very specific genre, most likely. And is every one of those games going to be amazing and be everything you've ever wanted? No! You're probably not going to like some of them, but if it's $1 or $0 or whatever, who cares? But chances are, with how many games are out there, I promise there are a few that are just for you. Even for some of the games that are a little more expensive, check out places like Bundle of Holding or Humble Bundle, and you can get bundles of, PDFs of a bunch of these games for a pittance. A pittance, I tell you. I have bought so many games on Bundle of Holding. I think I've probably got around 20 different titterpigs from Bundle of Holding, and I've probably spent around $60? And also, oh my gosh, the charity bundles. Trans rights charity bundles, Palestine charity bundles, stuff like that. If you just give $5 minimum to some of these, you will get hundreds of games. So many games. And not all of them are just quirky little one-shot, goofy, niche, whatever. I mean, some of them are more robust games that have some heft to them. In the last bundle I got Gubat Banwa. That's 600 pages or something. That's a beefy book. And the minimum donation to get that was $5, along with all of these other games. So I promise you, if you're saying, oh, I don't want to get into other games because of the financial investment, that's not an issue. It really, truly isn't. Yes, there are a few out there that are more expensive and that have a bunch of supplements, for sure. Go back to the 90s, and that was the thing. Everybody wanted to be D&D. But you don't have to. And there's so many games more robust than D&D that will not ask you for a fraction of the money that old Hasbro wants from you. So yeah, why do you only play D&D? I really want to know. And if you'd like to tell me, please do so in the comments. Please be respectful of each other if you're going to do that. But I would love to hear, because I really truly believe that for every one person who would truly be happiest just playing D&D, there are a dozen people who would actually be happier with a little variety in their life. And maybe some of those people might end up like me, and you'll never want that Pizza Hut meat lovers pan pizza ever again. But maybe not. Maybe you're gonna stick with that, and that is, again, absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It is absolutely fine if D&D is where you are comfortable and that is where you want to stay. But I just want you all to know that the barriers to entry for all of these other games are a lot lower than you think they are. And if you're looking to get into those games, there are a lot of great resources out there. Not just me and my How to Play series, though please do get people to watch those. They're pretty cool, huh? There are some games out there that have their own amazing resources. The Quick Play Kit for Fabula Ultima is so well designed, and I wish more developers designed initial play kits like that. Really, it like breaks apart the character sheet for the players with the pre-gen characters in a way that like unlocks as you play through the little intro one-shot. It's so well done. Seriously, if you're getting impatient for me making a Fabula Ultima How to Play video, which may or may not be coming soon, I don't know, just get that playtest. It's so good. But yeah, look for resources online. We live in an age where there's just so much availability for so many of these things. And I really encourage people to explore what is out there. Because the fact is, you might not know what your favorite pizza is if you only ever eat at one restaurant.
And now, a word from our sponsor. I want to tell you about some amazing supplements from my friends over at Homie and the Dude, a family of gamers working together to bring some truly polished professional products. First, for those of you who still love playing in 5e, there's the Sky Zephyrs book, over 200 pages of everything you could possibly need to start including airship combat in your games. Stats and mechanics for airships, pre-built airships, and instructions on how to build your own. Crew positions and bonuses for player characters, NPC stat blocks, mounts, spells, items, and a few monsters you might encounter in the skies. Then, for those of you who want something not specifically 5e, they have The Wandering Tavern, another 200-plus page book full of lore for an amazing world that you would love to get lost in, or just use to spice up your own homebrewed setting. There are so many NPCs and magic items, not to mention locations filled with detailed maps and plot hooks for all kinds of adventures. Also, the roll tables, items, and enemies have stat blocks for both 5e and guidelines for system agnostic use. Seriously, the folks at Homie and the Dude are genuinely really stellar people putting out amazing products. And if you use my coupon code, THEGUIDE, at checkout, you'll save 20% on your purchase, and a little of that goes to support me as well because they're cool like that. Just head over to hatdbuilder.com or find the link in the description below. Thanks again to Homie and the Dude, and if you listen to this whole ad, thanks to you as well. I appreciate it.